Good evening, everyone, and I'm back with another episode of COVID Warriors. Over the last few weeks, I have interviewed, or rather had discussion with people from different walks of life, from an IPS officer to a celebrity author to RSS Swayamsevaks to people who are to someone who's a public and a political intellectual, and most recently, absolutely legendary entrepreneurs. But today's show is the most special to me. And I'll tell you why. Today's show is about friendship, mental health, and survival. And I'm not going to be talking to people from outside world. I'm going to be talking to people who are the very foundation of my being, my friends. The word friendship in today's world is taken too lightly. It's like trends. Friends come and go, or rather trends come and go, and friends come and go. But in my life, my friends are the constant source of inspiration, motivation, and the very survival. There's a saying in Rig Veda, and those who are aware of the Vedic dharma know that in Rig Veda, deities are referred as friends. And each deity is referred to as a friend of the other. And the worshipper is also referred to as a friend of the deity. So this goes to show the very ethos, the very foundation of our culture, where friends are not just mere words, but they are responsibility. Today, I'm going to be talking to three pillars of my life. Dilip Padat, somebody who's not just defined by the number of decades that he's been with, but somebody who's been with me through the ups and the downs and been a constant source of motivation, inspiration, and support. Paddy, I fondly call him. Thank you for being on the show with me. I have Mona. Well, Mona Lisa Agarwal. Well, not as she, she's not just limited to how beautiful she looks. She's one of the smartest people I know. And she's that girlfriend that every girlfriend wishes for. Someone who I watch Netflix with. Someone who I go bonkers eating momo with. And most importantly, someone who picks me up every time I fall. Thank you so much, Mona. And Mona is joining us from all the way in Doha. Thank you so much for being with us today. You guys can unmute yourself. And finally,
yay! We're so excited. Yay.
That was the nicest introduction. That was the nicest introduction so far.
Well, you're way nicer than that. And well, last but not the least, Prasanji. I call him P. Well, what can I say about him? Well, he is not only an investment banker, an art connoisseur, but he is my soulmate. He is a family. He's someone who's an anchor in my life. Just like how the ship needs an anchor to hold it together, so is he in my life. And that's what all these three people have been in my life and continue to be. The reason I decided to call them on this show today is to give you guys a little bit insight about my life, about their life, about the things that we often miss talking about, the important aspects in life, which looks so superficial otherwise, is very real to me. Paddy, I'll start this with you. Mona, PJ, you can go on mute so that we can do away with the echo. Paddy, I think there is no way I can keep an introduction for you, because you are the backbone of my life. You're my brother. You're my brother from another mother, right? And you've been there for me through thick and thin. COVID-19 has been a very, very difficult phase for all of us. Most importantly, for someone like you. You've been in the US for the last few years. You had to suddenly move to Hong Kong for your job, which is a fantastic job that you have. And within a month's time, you're coming back to India. The uncertainty that is associated with a movement, moving from one place to the other and then coming back to India and working from home in a completely new job, something that you have not been used to. How are you surviving?
That's a very important question, Shom. A lot of people have been thinking about how exactly to fight a work from home situation to keep the environment, friendly
Right.
and positive as much as possible, right? In my case, I have a fantastic job. Like, I love what I do. I'm in the education sector. I'm in the marketing side of it, and I love what I do. I speak to students. They inspire me as much as on an everyday basis. They inspire me a lot. So I love what I do. But that said and done, I start my day at 8 in the morning. I take a break in between. I do a lot of flow exercises. I've started doing yoga. I make the best out of the situation that is available to me. So I meditate, I do yoga, I keep myself fit so that I do my job really well. And that's how I fight every day.
And so Paddy, you said something so beautiful. You talked about overall well-being being such an important aspect of you being able to do well in your job. But was it difficult that you joined something new and within a month's time you had to move to India? Has that uncertainty ever bothered you?
Well, initially I was worried, like
Hmm.
a lot of other people, when the pandemic happened and they were asked to work from home. Everyone was worried about job security.
Right.
How are they going to sustain it? Income coming home on a monthly basis. So there are points of concern, but as as life goes, there are going to be problems, but you will need to find your solution to it. You
Right.
are responsible for your sadness. You are responsible for your happiness. So you need
Very,
to find your happiness.
you said that so beautifully, and with that, I'm going to move on to Mona. Mo, like I fondly call her, and Patty, if you want, you can go on mute, and I'm going to come back to you. So, Mo, you are this gorgeous Assamese who's been all over the all over the country, and you're an avid traveler. Patty and I have celebrated your birthdays in different parts of the world at different times, and it's such an amazing friendship that we have. But you took a decision, early Jan. You decided to make a move. Bangalore was your base for the longest period of time, but you decided to move to Doha, a place you had never been to before, a place that was completely new to you. And I was a part of that move. I went with you in February to put your beautiful home together, which is absolutely gorgeous. And I came back, and boom, COVID-19 hit. Absolutely new move, no friends, completely a new start. You haven't been able to come back home since then. How are you surviving? How are you managing this situation?
Shom, when you said I made this decision to leave everything behind and make this new life, new career, new everything in Doha, I was looking for a challenge when I decided to do that.
Right.
And I think I wished for a little too much. I got more of a challenge with COVID, so I had I also have the challenge of making myself handling how I deal with my new life here and how I make this a home. It's
Mm-hmm.
not been easy, and there's no shame in admitting it's not easy,
Mm-hmm.
right? Absolutely not. And it's just you start a new job, you start a new life, and I think it's very important, and the basic of it, right? Very important to keep a schedule. Wake up in
Right.
the morning just like you were going to office, get dressed just like you would on a day that you go to work, right? Don't
Right.
be that person who wakes up and starts working on the laptop in your bed, because that just
Right.
throws your schedule off. That is not good for your job. That's not good for your mental health. That's not good for your day. You will not know the difference between day and night. You have to
Right.
make sure that you stick to a schedule. That is the very, very basis. The
Right.
most basic thing you can, the most simple and easy thing that you can do is stick to a schedule.
Right.
And it's very important to do that.
And was it, wait, you've been missing home food, home, like Bangalore,
I know,
the
I
friends,
know,
like I am dying to see you, and neither can I come
I
and
know,
meet you,
I
nor
know.
can you.
This is
How,
this.
like, how are you
I
managing? Because for me, I still have an ecosystem here. I still have family here. I still have my team here. I'm working here. For you, it's everything is just like starting from scratch. How are you dealing with that?
And I know this is a very interesting question, because this is something we discuss almost every day, every time we're on the phone show, right? We talk about how much I miss home and how much I wish there was a familiar face to see.
Mm-hmm.
When I moved here, I had this plan by, in a few weeks I will be back home visiting my parents who live in Assam,
Right.
visiting my friends who are
Right.
a lot of them in Bangalore, because I spent the last 17 years there, right? So
Wow.
it has been hard. It has been hard, but you have to take one day at a time,
Mm-hmm.
right? I do miss the home food, and everybody knows I don't cook. I'm just, when it was Bangalore, I used to Swiggy all my food. I don't cook, but
You just
but I have. I used to just order in food all the time, and of course, I miss the home food. I miss
Right,
having my friends around, and
right,
and especially with not being able to go out anywhere, not being able to meet new people.
right,
Even in the office, because we're not going to the office right
right,
now. So
right,
even the social interaction that you thought that I'm moving, I don't have any friends, but I will still meet people and have that social interaction in the office,
right.
right? And that is also not there anymore,
Mm-hmm.
considering everybody's working from home,
Correct,
right?
correct.
And so, yeah, it is hard, but I'm going to give some of the credit to a friend of mine who I live with. She's a fantastic cook, so I don't miss home foods as much anymore. So she's helping me with that.
You do
But
get lucky. You do get lucky
yeah,
wherever you go.
yes, I do. I do. I'm very lucky, and I'm very grateful for everything. I'm very grateful. But it's been difficult, but it's not impossible, right? You should not. No one should think that this is an impossible situation that you cannot come out of. Right? You have to
Right,
be positive, right?
absolutely.
You got to be positive, and like Patty said very clearly, you are responsible for your own sadness, for your own happiness. You have to
True.
you have to you have to make a conscious decision to wake
Mm-hmm.
up and do what you need to do.
Mm-hmm. And you said that so beautifully. I like few things you said, and I think it's very important for the viewers to make notes. One is, don't break away from your routine even if you're in a lockdown, right? Get up, go do what exactly you do usually when you have to go to work. Most importantly, don't stop looking good. Not everybody can look as gorgeous as Mona, but then, yeah, keep trying. We all are beautiful. We all should feel beautiful, make an effort to look beautiful. And when we feel beautiful from inside, I think the work that we do, it automatically becomes very fruitful. And with that,
Absolutely true.
PJ, I want to come to you. um, you,
Okay.
amongst all of us, you are someone who is not just one of the most accomplished, I would say, investment banker. You understand economy. You have a full-fledged family that you live with. You have your parents. You have a beautiful daughter and an absolutely gorgeous wife. And but you are someone who's always been traveling. You always travel. You're constantly on the move. I have two questions for you, PJ. Today, everybody's talking about how when you're starting to stay with your family, there are new nuances and new challenges you're facing because we are so used to having 8, 9 hours outside work and then we come back to our family. So there was a work life balance. Well, now that balance is not there, and that's leading to a lot of difficulties, especially in between couples. How are you managing that? That's my first question to you. How is this newfound situation being impacted? My second question to you is economically, right? You've been in the field of investment banking. The challenges that the economy has faced, you have personally faced, and I think it's very important for our viewers who are watching today and who watch the COVID Warrior show is to understand how you're battling this difficult times. So we'll start with the family first, Vijay.
All right. Thank you so much for such a nice introduction. So, yeah. So
My-
I started my investment banking career some 20 years back,
Mhm,
and in the very early stage, I realized that art has to be a very important and integral part of your life.
mhm,
So I have been understanding art and have been collecting art for the last 15, 20 years.
mhm,
And in the process, I understood that in life, the greatest art in life is the art of finding happiness out of nothing. While you will
mhm,
see me surrounded by art all over,
mhm,
I I talk to my art. At the same time, I try to find happiness through art.
mhm,
So during lockdown, initial few days, I was little disturbed,
mhm,
but then I started introspecting myself, and whatever I have learned in the perspective of art and in the
mhm,
space of art and aesthetics, that is helping me to build myself and the
mhm,
family. So
mhm,
when I talk to my daughter, we only talk about art. We talk about creating new things. And when you start talking about art and you start talking about creating new things, you talk about creating innovations, doing innovations, you really feel so engaged with yourself and so
mhm,
engrossed in a zone where you are able to elevate yourself. You
mhm,
really don't feel stressed out, and that is
mhm,
what is helping me.
mhm,
Regarding economics, yeah, economic situation, definitely. I mean, let me be very candid with you. Whatever I have earned in last 20 years, I have
Mhm.
lost it all in last 3 months.
Wow.
So that was the damage that has happened. And my family and my friends, they have not seen me disturbed in last 2 months, even for a single day.
Mhm.
Because in last 20 years, I have understood the art of making money. And
Mhm.
in last three, and I've lost it all. Let me tell you, in last 3 months, whatever I've earned in last 20 years, I've lost every bit of it in last 3 months. But now I've also understood the art of losing money. So
Mhm.
all the while, I knew how to make money. I never knew how to store, how not to lose money. But today I know again how to make money, and I know how not to lose money. So my
So I,
journey has again, so my journey, new journey has again has started, and I think this is going to be an awesome journey from here on. And
so
my daughter, my family is playing a very important role into it.
of course, I know that your daughter is your inspiration.
Yeah.
You named her Renee because her birth was a new renaissance in your life. So is this situation a new renaissance in your life, PG?
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. So when she was
So
born, I wanted to keep a name which will become a brand in itself someday when she's grown up. So we
mhm,
keep discussing about the brand every time. It is going to be Rene M. And
mhm,
so, as you know, the word itself is a revolution in the field of art and culture, right? So that
right,
is what that brand is going to do to the world when she's
right.
grown up. So we keep
So now,
discussing about different ideas, different innovations all throughout the day, and that is
right,
what is keeping us busy. And when
right.
you know that you are trying to find happiness with such little things,
Mhm,
the entire world around you also look good. So while people are actually struggling
mhm,
with COVID and the depression associated with COVID,
mhm,
I am actually feeling very happy with what is happening around me.
mhm.
And I'm blessed with people like you who have been constantly mentoring me on how to take things to the next level.
Well, you don't need any mentoring. You've been a guiding force in my life because I have battled pretty tough situations during this COVID. Means for me, it's been a rediscovery of self because I'm so used to living alone by myself for many years. I think since I was 15. And Paddy, I'm going to come to you. After this, is that it's been like 15 years, more than 20 years that I've lived by myself, and now living with a family. Well, it's one of the most amazing experiences that I've been able to reconnect with my family. But what happens is sometimes it can get exhausting, right? Because everybody's at home. Everybody has expectations. Everybody is going through their share of challenges because my dad is used to going out, meeting his patients and going to his clinic, and because he's over 60, I'm ensuring that he's staying at home. Siddhi goes to school. Siddhi's unable to go to school. She feels like she's locked down. And Patty, I want to come to you and I want to talk about this. The reason it's very important to discuss this is mental health has always been very important to me. You know that. And I've been a survivor of depression myself, which I talk about very openly because I think if you can talk about being sick with COVID-19, it's very important to also talk about if you don't feel good up here, right? And we all feel depressed at some point in time in our life or the other. We just don't know how to recognize basic sadness to depression. um, Patty, I'm talking about this to you. The reason is, and I'm gonna talk about this to Mona and Pujit as well. Is that over the last 2 weeks since Sushant Singh's Rajput's suicide or death, I'm not going to call it suicide. I'm going to call his death, has raised a lot of questions. That are we happy outside and unhappy inside? When do we recognize the importance of mental health? Why is it paramount, especially during these times of crisis, to talk about mental health more openly? And I'll ask you this, right? How important is mental health in your life? When have you, if you've encountered people who you have helped to battle these challenges, and especially for these viewers who are watching today, how do you suggest that they deal with mental health?
So before I answer this question, I just want to say one thing. I'm going to take that name, Renee, and use it in my fashion brand later on. Don't sue me, okay? I love it. um, you raised a very important question, Shom. You and I have had conversations about this for quite some time. In India, until Deepika Padukone came out, people weren't really talking about, depression. They weren't talking about mental health at all.
No.
Or you take paracetamol, but if you're sad, it's okay to be sad. If you're paranoid, it's okay to be paranoid. It's okay to be anxious because that's what your parents have told you. Just just get a better job or get more money or just get married or have kids. This will help you solve the problem. It will not solve the problem. If you're depressed, you are depressed. If you have issues, you need you need professional help to sort it out.
Right.
I am I'm going through therapy myself, right? That's because we have had this conversation before. It's extremely important for you to have a therapist. Okay, it's extremely important for you to talk to someone. The person need not be your friend, need not be a colleague. It should be someone who doesn't know you and will judge you and give you the right kind of advice so that you move forward. You don't move backwards. And for that to happen, it's extremely important to get help. And I strongly recommend it. In the long run, it has to work out for you. And I was very disappointed and shocked when I heard about Sushant Singh Rajput because he just looked so happy. He was happy. He was giving the best interviews. He has so much to. I mean, he's such an intelligent man, so intellectual, and this has happened to him. So it's a wake up call to all of us. If you need help, go and get it.
Yep. And Patty, I want to take that discussion forward. It takes, first of all, kudos to you. It takes a lot of guts to talk about, especially in our society, to acknowledge that you're seeking therapy. Because to me, therapy is like, hey, you go, I'm saying this more candidly and casually because when you get a back pain, when you have some kind of ailment, like, if you feel like, oh my God, I'm strained today in my leg or I have a muscle pull, you go to a physiotherapist and you seek therapy. So when the mind is strained, sometimes you can't always talk to people who are not unbiased, right? I'm being honest. Like if I tell my parents about something, they will be biased towards me because I am their daughter. They're going to always think about my well-being first. They're not necessarily going to judge the situation neutrally. It's bound to happen. Even though my dad is from this field, right? He's one of the most sought after, neuropsychiatrists. But yet, when it comes to his daughter, he recommends I go see someone who's more neutral. Right. So when I was battling those challenges and I was going to therapist, nobody put me on a medication, none at all, because the therapist actually said, you don't need medication. You need somebody to talk to. You needed to cry it out. I was allowed to cry nonstop for an hour and a half till I couldn't breathe anymore. And then he asked me, are you feeling better?
Yeah.
Not necessarily that happens to you, right? That when you're crying, people are trying to console you. Oh, no, it's okay. It's fine. Don't worry. Everything will be all right. Move on. If not this, then that. Who tells you fine? Cry for an hour and a half and I'll patiently watch you crying. And then he observed my body language and started recommending that, okay, this is where from basic sadness, it shifts to anxiety. It shifts to fear. It's to self-criticism. He taught me that I am always too hard on myself. I doubt myself. Isn't it a great eye-opening, Paddy, where people are, when the world tells you this is wrong about you, that you need to fix. Somebody tells you you're too hard on yourself. You shouldn't criticize yourself so much. And especially for those of us who are single and who are leading our life, Paddy, so much of stress where parents are saying get married, get settled, have kids, or oh, you should do this, you shouldn't do that. I know how much of challenges and adversities you have faced to be where you are, and you're one of the most accomplished creative people who's phenomenal at his work. And I've gone and been with you in Goa, and I've seen you working nonstop 9 hours. And I'm like, we are in Goa. Like, no, I have to work. Patty, how important it is for you to find that balance? How did you identify when you needed to seek help, and how did you seek for it? And most importantly, why I'm asking you this is, most of the people watching today, the doubt is, I don't know if I need it. When When do you cross that chasm of I don't know if I need it to yes, I need it. It's okay. Even if I don't need it, I'll go talk to someone neutrally.
I'm okay. This is how I'm going to put it. If you look at my Instagram, it's so happy. I mean, I've traveled to the most exotic places, the best beaches, having the best cocktails, and amazing exotic food. Partying, going to the best concerts. So it looks like a happy life,
Right.
right? But and I have a job that is satisfying. I have my friends and family support me. But why am I sad? I don't even
Mm-hmm.
know.
Mm-hmm.
When and that happens to most of you at different phases. Like
Right.
different phases of life, you will come across this feeling. You will come across this feeling where you don't know why you're feeling sad, but you are.
Right.
That's when you
Right.
that's exactly the time you need to do not speak to your friends, because to be honest, I've had a couple of people tell me, oh, you're fine, you're good to go, don't worry about it. And when you keep that to yourself,
Mm-hmm.
you're just suffocating yourself. you're
Mm-hmm.
you're literally getting in all this negative energy, and
Mm-hmm.
it has to burst at one
Mm-hmm.
point. And
Right.
for that to happen, you need a solution, and that is therapy.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to summarize this what Patty said, that sometimes you may have everything going for you. It's not necessary that only when you have turmoils in your life and challenges in your life you need help. Maybe everything is looking hunky dory, everything is looking perfect, but you know that something inside you is questionable, and you ask for help. And more, that brings me to you, and I'm going to ask you this as well. Your life is beautiful and perfect. When you see from the outside, you've been this. I have been with you, and I've seen. You're gorgeous. You go outside, you get all the attention. Everybody wants to be your friend because you're so much fun to be with. But sometimes what happens is that's not enough, right? Sometimes when we're away from the people we love, it brings sadness to us. And I'm asking you this because a lot of people say that, okay, you know what? If I'm not so presentable, if I don't feel attractive enough, that's when I feel that I'm not, I'm taken for granted, or people don't treat me well. But it's a myth. People don't treat you, not necessarily that people don't treat you well because you look a certain way, or they treat you well because they look a certain way. Sometimes it's just the way they are. um, Sometimes it's a pressure, right? Especially for women who are just in their end of 20s and entering 30s, the pressure of marriage. That can be like, okay, you have to, for a girl, you have to get married before 30, and you have to have a first child before 30. You are the breaker of chains. You're like, you remind me of Game of Thrones, because you live on your own. You're like the Khaleesi. You live on your own right. You live the way you want. You're a breaker of chains. Especially when your parents wanted you to get married, that's when you decided that, you know what, you're going to move to Doha. And I know you have amazing parents, but how is it to be 30 and single, to be 30 and not have a kid, to be 30 and living by yourself, and maybe be like that till you decide that you need someone? Is it pressure? How is it to be in your shoes?
I'm going to say it's an amazing life. Okay, to be able to do what you're doing, to be able
Mm-hmm.
to make your own decisions, and a lot of it, in fact, most of it, I really thank my parents. Like you said, they're wonderful people, very understanding, very open-minded.
Mm-hmm.
They're not the kinds who said, "You're my daughter, you stay at home, I'll get you married, you don't need a career." None of that. I'm so lucky to have them. Right?
Mm-hmm.
They are very, very understanding,
Mm-hmm.
right? Besides that, and I give most of the credit to them, because they
Right.
brought me up to be this independent woman, right? They
Right.
molded me from the time I was a very, 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 very young girl. You
Right.
have to be independent, you have to make your own decisions, you have to
Right.
live your life, and
Right.
you have to live it well, you have to
Right.
live it happy, you have to live it content. It's not
Right.
enough to just live your life, but you have to make something out of it.
Right.
You have to be happy at the end of the
Right.
day,
Right.
right? And so the answer to all of that, how is it to be 30 and single? Amazing. How is it to be 30 and living on my own? Amazing. 30 and having my career? Amazing. So I have no
Okay.
complaints whatsoever with that. I absolutely love
I
my
love
life.
it. I love it. And even if you are 40, and I know you're going to be this gorgeous, and even
I'm
if you
still
then,
gonna love it.
it's gonna be amazing. And
You're
if
gonna
you
love
find
it. You're gonna love
someone
it.
who sweeps you off your feet, even then it's amazing. You know,
It's going to be amazing then.
all the single women out there, all the single mothers, to all those who have decided to live life on your terms, no matter whether you get as lucky as Mona, you know, whether you have parents who are supportive or not, remember one thing: this is your life, you are leading it, and therefore you are accountable for it. And it's very, very easy to say that the society is putting pressure on me, or I am under tremendous pressure because of these reasons. But the truth is that we all put too much pressure on ourselves, right, Mo? Sometimes we're very hard on ourselves. We see ourselves and judge ourselves through others' lenses more than us, right?
Agreed.
And
I also, yeah. It's
go
also
ahead.
like don't do anything for the wrong reasons. Don't get married for the wrong reasons. Don't have a kid for the wrong reasons. Same way,
Right.
don't be single for the wrong reasons.
I
Don't
like it.
just you make sure you know what you're doing, right?
Right.
And everything's trial and error. Life is trial and error. You're going to learn from your mistakes,
Right.
right? But you won't know it till you try it. So go ahead and
Right.
do what makes you happy.
Absolutely. I love it. I love it. So, you know, that brings me to you, P. Happiness, right? Mona talked about that she is who she is, and this is something that she chooses to be, and she loves being responsible and accountable for her life. Um, you're in Kolkata, uh, Vijit. You're in Kolkata. Uh, there are a lot of things that has happened in Kolkata besides just COVID, right? There has been Amphan, and as I speak with you, you have multiple cases of COVID in the very community that you live in. There's a lot of challenges that Kolkata is facing. There are a lot of, I'm not going to talk about the government, I'm going to not talk about the political stuff, because this particular episode is about us, about being more personal, about being more real, and not being superficial. So we're going to talk about you personally. In terms of, you talked about finding happiness in art. But like you said, that you lost a lot of money and you realized the art of losing money. Uh, P, how important is it to diversify at the right time? How important it is to protect yourself, especially when you have family and responsibilities? How important it is to prepare for the unprepared. So it's like nobody knew in the beginning of 2020, and you and I and Paddy have spoken about this. We thought 2020 is going to be the best year of our life. Well, I still think it's the best year of our life. We're doing this, right? We're doing something new completely. I never thought I'm going to do the COVID Warriors series and it's going to, you know, start doing so well. But I'm asking you this: that how is living in Kolkata during this time? Besides you, how's the atmosphere outside, and how are people dealing with the fear and the challenges of the continuously rising cases in Kolkata?
So I will begin by saying that Mark Zuckerberg has been one of my biggest inspiration in life.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Let me explain. When I passed out college, there were no uh, mobile network, and then I had a lot of good friends at that point of time. During my when I started my career, I always thought that how do I get in touch with all such lovely friends with whom I had amazing time once.
Right.
And while everybody else was, people like us were all thinking about the problem, there was
Mm-hmm.
one guy who was thinking about the solution. So he thought that there would be many guys like him, like me. How
Mm-hmm.
do we connect them? And then he came up with Facebook. Through
Right.
Facebook, today we know that we got connected to all the people around who were once a very important part in our life.
Mm-hmm.
So this gave me the thought that if you start finding solutions to every problem of yours,
Mm-hmm.
that is where life begins.
Mm-hmm.
Calcutta in last few months has been terrible like every other place,
Mm-hmm.
apart from Amphan that happened to us.
Mm-hmm.
Now everybody here is going through a lot of anxiety for whatever is happening.
Mm-hmm.
What is important is in tough time, how do you take right decisions?
Mm-hmm.
That is very, very important, right?
Right.
So you talk about Sushant Singh, right?
Right.
Now, what happens is in when you go through depression or when you go through problems or issues,
Mm-hmm.
based on logical people, takes illogical decisions.
Mm-hmm.
It does happen, right, with everybody,
Right.
right? So how do you actually convert these illogical decisions into logical ones?
Mm-hmm.
So the idea is that everybody of us need a Krishna in our life.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe one, maybe two, maybe few more. Why? Because what Krishna's role was, Krishna was the best advisor in the world.
Mm-hmm.
He used to mentor people with the right decision. And when you have a mentor
Mm-hmm.
as somebody, you can be a mentor yourself to people, and there can be mentor who is advising to you. So I
Right.
am blessed with people who are mentoring me,
Mm-hmm.
and people are also blessed with me because I am mentoring them in the process.
Right.
It is a mutual thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in these troubled times, I've been getting, it's like you have been mentoring me in a lot of things. I've been mentoring a lot of people in a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
This is actually helping people to respond and not react. Because when people go through depression, they react, and that is when they commit all the mistakes. So
Right.
if you're able to help people to respond and not react,
Mhm.
we can, we can avert a lot of illogical decisions in life.
Right.
So in last 2 to 3 months, I have been mentoring people on how to respond and how not to react.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I start reacting, this problem will not go away.
Right.
So how do I find out solutions? That has been the space I've been working very deeply and intensely. That how do I engage myself with people who need this mental guidance, who need this mentorship, and
Mm-hmm.
how to take them out of the crisis that they are presently in.
Right.
So I think this is helping a lot.
So.
And in the process also, I'm finding a lot of opportunities for myself,
Mm-hmm.
which I intend to create later in the later phase of my life,
Mm-hmm.
in consultation with my daughter when she's little grown up. Because as I said that we intend to create a brand,
Mm-hmm.
and no matter what, whatever. So no matter whatever challenges we are going through today, we'll
Mm-hmm.
anyway evolve out of it going forward. We have
Right.
seen 2007, 2008 financial crisis, and
Correct.
today when you look back, anybody who has done investment from an investment banker's point of view, I'm saying anybody who has invested at that point of time, they are making a lot of money today. While everybody thought that it is going to be the end of the world in 2007. See
Right.
what is the world like in 2019.
Right.
Today in 2020, everybody is thinking that it is the end of the world.
Correct.
5 years from now, people will think that what kind of opportunity it actually gave us in terms of investment or other things, opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
Like Mark Zuckerberg, we should be constantly finding out opportunities out of crisis. We are talking about China these days, right? So let me give one very example that China gifted to the world. In China, the world crisis is made up of two subwords. One is danger, the other one is opportunity. So in every danger that comes to your life, there is an opportunity associated with that. So we have to develop our mind in such a way that we are always able to find opportunity out of every crisis that exists in our life.
Right.
That is what I'm doing right now.
So P, I'm going to come back to you, but you talked about Mark Zuckerberg, right? My inspiration has always been Ratan Tata, right?
Yes.
And the reason is that man, there are many like Zuckerberg, and I'm saying this with a lot of humility and a lot of a lot of thought process that's gone into it. Is that sometimes we as Indians have a tendency to look for idols outside. If we could appreciate our country a little more and we could look for idols within our country, I think this whole dependency on other countries for our survival could be minimalized. That is one.
I understand. So let me say from my perspective,
Right.
I had a very simple problem.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody was providing a solution to that simple problem. I wanted to get connected to my friend.
Right.
All the friends who were once...
So you realized, right, before Mark, it was Orkut. He kind of stole their idea.
Yeah. But I never actually got connected to my friends through Orkut. I actually got connected to all my friends through Facebook, actually.
Yeah. Okay, get it. So P was late to the party because I was already discovering friends. You know why I like the Orkut story, and Patty, I'm going to ask you this, right? Why I'm sharing this is that the reason I like the Orkut story is it's more deep. It was not born in Harvard; it was born out of love, right? It was born out of a lover seeking their soulmate, not able to find them, and creating a platform. Well, it died because maybe the purpose itself died, but it gave, like I always say, that Alta Vista, that search was not developed by Google, it was developed by Alta Vista, but Google was smart enough to implement it. So it's always who's a successful implementer gets the credit for it. But Patty, I'm going to talk about this, right? Why am I saying this? Is because P bought the example of Facebook, connecting people, especially for singles, those who are single, right? It's very important for us to socialize, for us to go meet people. And if you're single in your personal life, you don't have a life partner, we are constantly, at least before the lockdown, we could go out and meet people and kind of, have conversations or hang out. You are a socialite. You are literally page three, and not just in India, in US and everywhere else you've been as well. From being a socialite to being completely locked down, I have two questions for you. How are you managing? That's my first question. My second, I would die if I was in your place. Like you, I'm at least not as social as you are. You're always out there. You need to meet people. You need to go to the best. I get to know the best places from you. You're very social, and that's what makes you who you are, because you inspire being that. But you're not able to do that for the last 6 months almost. One, how are you managing it? Two, what new hobbies or new things did you discover about yourself, given that you can't socialize anymore?
Well, I was a socialite. I wouldn't say I'm a socialite still. It's because of the fact that with time and age, my priorities have changed. Of course, I still get to go to the best launch events happening, tasting happening. I'm all there. But the point is, my priorities have changed. I have very few friends. Three of them are already here in this channel right now, going live.
I know.
And with the rest of them, it's just me being social. Okay, that's said and done. Idle mind is devil's workshop. Okay, that connects back to the topic of mental strength. Idle mind is devil's workshop. So when you are, I don't understand, and P and Mona will also be able to answer this. I mean, will relate to this question. Have people asked you so many times? Well, they haven't asked you. They've been whining about the fact that they're bored at home. They're working from home and they're bored. They don't know what to do. When there's so much to do in life, like learn cooking, start taking classes online, enhance your skill set. If it's Six Sigma or project management, or I started taking music classes, even though I'm still braying. I'm not a person like you.
We're gonna
No.
Oh no, you have to. You have to. You have
right
to.
Now.
I'm with you, of course. This show is about us, Patty. This show is about us battling the challenge, staying positive, being who we are, and you and I sing together. We're gonna do our pehla nasha after this. Yeah.
We should. So the thing is, there's so much to do in life, okay? And you're whining about the fact that you're bored. This is the best time. This is the best time for you to connect. You spend time with family. This is the best time for you to actually, learn a new hobby. There's so much to learn from, and that's why you should not have an idle mind. And that's basically what I have to say.
So you're taking music classes? This is
Yeah. Wow. Carnatic. Don't ask me to sing.
Wow. You have to sing 2 lines of Pehla Nasha for us. No, you have to, because this particular.
I do Pehla Nasha.
Yeah. So you'll do Pehla Nasha for us?
Pehla Nasha. Oh God, this is going to be on social media forever.
No. So this is what is going to make this episode popular. You singing.
Pehla Nasha, Pehla Kumar. नया प्यार है नया इंतजार कर लूं मैं क्या अपना हार, ये दिले बेकरार, मेरे दिले बेकरार, तू ही बता, उड़ता ही फिरूं इन हवाओं में कहीं, क्या मैं झूल जाऊं इन घटाओं में कहीं, कह दूं ये आसमां और जमीन. I forgot the rest.
कहो यारो क्या करूं क्या नहीं,
Yes.
पहला नशा पहला खुमार, नया प्यार
है नया इंतजार.
है, कर लूं मैं क्या अपना हाल, ए दिले बेकरार, मेरे दिले बेकरार, तू ही बता.
Applause, applause. This is why we're friends, ladies and gentlemen.
And Paddy says he's braying. So Mo, you know, what's the hobby? What's something new that you have been doing? I know you've been majorly into yoga, doing hot yoga, other things, but what else? What else have you adapted to learn something new during this time?
You know, the hot yoga, Shom, there is no other option when you're in the Middle East in the month of June. Everything is hot yoga here.
Well said. Well said.
No, but I mentioned earlier that I don't cook, but
Mhm.
desperate times call for desperate measures.
Yeah,
So
I
I
know.
have recently learned how to chop vegetables with a knife, sharp knife. I
Yes.
have recently learned how to make one or two dishes, which is obviously trial and error. And so my sister's been putting up recipes online, so I've been trying them out and sending her pictures. And it's amazing how response is always, yeah, that looks all right. Like, so
She's a
clearly
chef.
maybe
She's
it
a
doesn't
chef.
look as good. So clearly maybe it doesn't look as good, but I was
Mhm.
able to eat it, and that says a lot, because coming from somebody who did not know anything on how to work anything in the kitchen. But
Right.
besides that, I think I got lucky here with the lockdown, in the sense that I have been able to experience the natural beauty of Doha, in the sense that you can go out for a walk now that things are slowly opening up. It's
Right.
nice to go out and experience things. So I recently went to a new marina that's been built in a newer city called Lusail.
Mhm.
I went there and there was people walking and exercising and things like that. So, and not super crowded of what
Mhm.
what it would be if there was no lockdown. So I've been
Mhm.
lucky enough to see the natural beauty of Doha with fewer people around.
Mhm.
So that's been one positive that's come out of that.
Right.
And yeah, so when I'm going there, I'm walking, I'm trying to jog.
Right.
Trying is the word, because it
Right.
is humid, the air is really hot, so it
Right.
can get physically it's harder physically to do that here.
Right.
But
Right.
it's been good. I have a friend who's helping me exercise three
Mhm.
times a week.
Mhm.
Something that I could not do once I got here,
Mhm.
because initially in the lockdown you couldn't even go out to exercise. You could
Right.
just go out
Right.
for a walk, and now
Right.
the recent rules say that you don't have to wear a mask anymore when you're
Right.
exercising. You do have to wear a mask when you're going to the
Oh,
grocery
wow.
store,
Sure.
to the pharmacy, so you can actually go for a walk, and so no mask required while exercising. So that's been
Wow.
nice. So I
Right.
have discovered that I can make myself sort of useful in the
Right.
kitchen. So the
Right.
kitchen is basically not a useless room of my house anymore. Let me
Oh,
just say
wow.
that.
So when I come
It's not
here,
a useless.
I'm getting a full-fledged meal cooked by you.
I don't know full-fledged, but I will be able to feed you without having to call in from the
That's
restaurant.
okay. But I love the restaurant in your house. So Mo, any recommendations on books? Because you're such an avid reader. I'm going to ask Patty as well to share, but he
Hmm.
sang beautiful songs, so he made up for everything.
Hmm.
So any
Hmm.
book recommendation, anything that you've been watching that we should be watching, or even you are my go-to person for anything Instagram. You tell me the right people to follow. You tell me what I should be doing. So a lot of people don't know. So guys, you're watching. You should know that Mona tells me. Uh, Actually, Mona and Patty. Patty gives me fashion advice, and Mona tells me the people that I should be following to not only up my IQ, my EQ, but also my Instagram quotient. That's what I call it now.
So honestly, I'll be very honest and candid here. I wish I could say otherwise, but I have had absolutely no time to read anything these
Hmm.
days. I'm just trying to keep my head over water and just make a life for me in this new place, and get knowing people at work, and just being able to adjust. So I haven't
Right.
had the time to do that, which is quite sad. I would have loved to be able to do that. But I think it's also okay to not to be able to do everything that you want to do.
Okay.
To go at your pace, go at a level that you're comfortable with.
Right.
Just keep yourself
Right.
as occupied. It's okay to learn new skills. It's okay not to be able to do that, as long as you can, come out of this, a stronger,
Right.
resilient person, of this situation,
Right.
right?
So, Mona,
Uh, hmm.
we are working more than we used to, right? This
I
was a
agree. Yeah, I agree. I agree. So that's what happens, right? When you're working from home, there is no end time,
right,
right? There's no
right,
end time. You wake up in
right,
the morning, you try to follow your routine, start working at 8:39, whatever your timing is, and
right,
then you would be sometimes maybe your job is one where you get done at 6 or you get done at 7, but that
right,
doesn't really happen at home, because there's always like, let me also do answer this email, or let me also get done with this, and then
right.
the whole point of let me also get this done a little more, 5 minutes, and then you realize it's 10:30, 11, and you've forgotten to make dinner, you've forgotten to eat.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very important to, it's you know if any advice, like this is from my
Mm-hmm.
own personal experience, it's important to be able to shut your laptop down in the evening and just
Mm-hmm.
have time for yourself,
Right,
right? It is important to work. Your career is extremely important, but so is
right,
your mental health, so
right.
is your physical well-being, so is
Yeah,
everything else that comes, is part of your life. Your job is one part of your life. It is not your entire life. You have
right.
other things that you need to take a spend, you know put that time out to talk to your family. It's really sad, because there have been days when my mom or dad has called me and I haven't been able to call them back, because I'm behind 2.5 hours on time. I always think I'll call them once I get done with work, and then you realize you're done with work. It's 10 o'clock here. It's past midnight there, and then you miss talking to them that day. So make a conscious effort to keep in touch with family, with friends.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's okay to shut your laptop down and put your energies
Mm-hmm.
at other places that also deserve your energy, your family, your friends, yourself. you
Yeah.
know yeah, it's
I think
important.
very beautifully put. Two things that you said are so important, Mo, that you don't have to do it all. We all don't have to have the same kind of hobbies. We don't always have to learn something new. Most important to keep your head above the water, right? If you can learn something new, like Paddy is doing, it's his passion. Music is his passion. He's learning Carnatic music. I know he's always wanted to, because that is his life, work-life balance. A lot of others who are maybe told that, oh no, in the lockdown you have to pick up something. Listen, guys, even if it means just self-care, that is also a hobby, because most of us often ignore ourselves. And
Agreed.
I want to come to you with that, because you love yourself. You've transformed to be becoming the professor after you watched you know after you watched the series, right? So La Casa de Papel, and you have got a new avatar now. You always tell me how important is self love, how important is to keep the balance between the left and the right brain. How are you? What new have you done during this lockdown? And tell us a little more about it. Also, how have you been keeping yourself fit? Because you look fitter than I've seen you before.
So basically, what is happening is, so I'm working on three fields.
Mm-hmm,
First is I'm doing a lot of research in the field of art and aesthetics.
mm-hmm,
Second, I'm also doing a lot of research on investments, because
mm-hmm,
this crisis is giving us a lot of opportunities.
mm-hmm,
And third, I'm also spending a lot of time on relationships with people.
mm-hmm. I like it.
Now, how everything in all the aspects I'm evolving, I will take a little bit of time to explain. If
Mm-hmm.
you have little time, yeah.
No, we do,
And
we do. Go
yeah.
ahead.
So pre-COVID, we hardly had time, but we had a lot of people to connect. All of you
Mm-hmm,
agree, right?
mm-hmm,
We were connecting all the people, all people we knew, either in Facebook or Instagram, everybody, right? In the corporate circle, whatever. Today, we have a lot of time, but we are not connecting to people, because we have, for the first time, we have realized that we need to start thinking inwards, and we are only connecting to people who matters a lot.
mm-hmm,
It is very important to identify people who matters a lot and keep connecting to them,
mm-hmm,
because they might need me,
mm-hmm,
or I might need them at one
mm-hmm,
point of time, or at some point of time. So I'm investing a lot of time on relationships. I'm doing a lot of research on the crisis which is happening, because this crisis is also building up a lot of opportunities in the field of investments. Uh, whether Indian equities or global equities, there are companies who are doing phenomenal work. Like, for example, Google. The market cap of Google in US is equivalent to the market cap of all the best 50 companies in India today. This gives us a perspective that what kind of innovation we require in India in terms of build up technology, and which all are the companies which can actually become, if not Google, something which can do a lot of disruption in the world. So I am investing a lot of time on identifying such companies and how to invest on them, so that we, as I said, that whatever I've lost in last 6 months, I recovered on that, and I make phenomenal money. What I do with my money, that is a different aspect, but philosophy of investment should be a better investment. Third is I'm putting a lot of research on my sense of art and aesthetics. And when I say this, it is very important to know that small things in life matters. Now, suppose if I invite you invite you to my house, you don't need an invitation. You can just walk in like the way you always do to each other's house. When I invite people, what kind of experiences I'm actually creating for that people. Today, when somebody comes to my house, I would present water in a form that people have never experienced before. The way I present the water, the pottery that I select, the plants that I give with the water, the temperature that I control, what kind of music will play, what part of the day it is. I'm doing a lot of research on that. If I am giving you water or tea, offering you water and tea in the morning, your mood is different. Your mood swings all throughout the day. If I'm offering you something during winter, if I'm offering you something during summer, if I'm offering you something during monsoon, your mood actually depends on what part of the day it is, what part of the season it is. So I'm doing research on that, and how to put it in the form of experience. I'm working on that. Wow. So if somebody comes to my house, and if he comes to my house every day for next 6 months, I can give him different kind of experience for the next 6 months. And I'm doing very deep research on that. So I am actually free and having a lot of time. At the same time, I'm not free and not having any time.
I love it. So you are pursuing your passion with prudence, right?
Yes.
You are ensuring that you keep your passion alive, but you're also being very prudent, that you are smart investing. And I love the philosophy that you said, that the philosophy of investment is a better investment, right? And you're focusing on that, and that's sustainability, right? And in the last segment of this discussion, when I'm going to go to Paddy, Mona, and you, I'm going to come back to you with few tips, right, on the next few months, because there is so much of uncertainty that is still around COVID-19. The number of cases in India is growing. The number of cases in US is growing. And I know, Paddy, you're supposed to go to US. I was supposed to go back, and I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. I just hope that I can at least meet you guys, this year again, because that will be in itself a great virtue. But Paddy, what is the mantra for the next few months, if we are still in the situation we are in, or if things get worse? I want to always prepare for, they say that, want the best, but prepare for the worst. So how are you preparing yourself for the coming few months? You're muted, Paddy. Let me.
I was on mute. Okay. What happens when you hold a glass of water? How much do you think it weighs? 8 ounce, 12 ounce? And you are holding it because, of course, the next second you're going to drink it, right? You're going to take a sip. What if you keep holding on to it? You're going to, what if you hold it for 10 minutes? You find it uncomfortable. In some time, it's going to be numb.
Correct.
So what do? You normally sip and you put the glass down.
Right.
Don't hold on to your negative thoughts.
Right.
Get it out of your system. There is always a solution. In terms of COVID-19, it's a phase, this too shall pass. But you will have thoughts. You will be worried. We are human. It is bound to happen. what you
Right.
need to do is know for a fact that you are the solution provider also. If you need help, go for it. Find out if you are bored, find a hobby. If you need, if you're depressed or you're anxious,
Mm-hmm.
seek help. There are a lot of platforms where you can, you can meditate. You can take online classes of meditation, yoga, and what is annoying to me is we are the land of yoga,
Right.
and most of us don't even, I mean, Americans, the population, the percentage of Americans taking yoga is way higher, and even Germans than Indians. I mean, this is inborn, it is there in us. Why aren't we using it to our advantage? As Mr. Modi has said it himself, this is the time for us to celebrate our culture and
Right.
make the best out of it. So meditate, and you will attain nirvana at one point.
I love it. Well, you guys heard it first on COVID Warriors from Dilip, from Patty, that yes, we all can attain nirvana. It needs practice, but jokes apart, one of the things that Patty said is that if we hold on to our negative thoughts, it does, it makes us lazy. It is in our best interest to cultivate the right thoughts. Well, it is very easy said than done, is why meditation comes into the picture. I go through my own anxiety, I go through my own difficult times, especially when you're in business. You're juggling too many things, and you're responsible not just for yourself. You're accountable to your customers, you're accountable to your team, you're accountable to your investors. You have a lot of accountability, and then you have family. All that can drive even the best of us to a risk, to a brim of breakdown. But what's important is to keep the mind calm, and that is only possible when you practice mental and physical well-being together. So most people don't know also, Paddy, that yoga is the balance of the mind and the physical being, and that's what lets you to the supreme universal attainment. Most people think it's the physical well-being only, but it's not. Meditation is one of the most key and important aspects of the yogic culture, and that's what Paddy is talking about, and that's what is really important. More coming to you. For all those people who are away from their loved ones, who are away from their home, who are not as lucky as me, Paddy, or PJ to be with their family. And kudos to you, salute to you for staying so positive when you're so far away. What are your tips for survival to those people?
Have you ever, I don't know if this has happened, it happens to me a lot. Like I
Mm-hmm.
stress myself out because I'm trying to figure out why I'm stressed. You
Mm-hmm.
get what I'm saying? Right? That happens, and I'm sure I'm not the only one it happens to.
True,
I think,
true.
I think, I think, I think we have to make a conscious effort to understand that it is okay to have a bad day. It is okay to have a not so good day, right? Right.
Right,
And it is also amazing to have a good day. So you have to understand that this is life. It has its ups and downs, and it is okay to have a day where you're not as productive as you thought you would be. Do
right,
not beat yourself up over it. It is
right,
okay. You will do better. Look forward to what's coming next,
right,
right? Accept that this is something that you have come out of. Don't stress yourself out trying to figure out why you're stressed, like I said, because that happens to me all the time,
right,
right?
right. But
But,
if you're
but
missing your family, if you're missing your friends, what's your mantra to them?
mantra, just keep in touch. Always keep in touch. Don't let anything take over the time that you need to spend.
Right,
Obviously not meeting. Like in my situation, I can't really go and have dinner with them,
right,
meet them and see them face to face. It's
right,
hard, but
right,
spend that time. Everybody's going through what you're going through.
right,
So it is okay to talk to your friends and say,
right.
I didn't have a very good day. How
Mm-hmm.
did yours go? You know,
Correct,
use
correct.
positive words and just
Right,
talk to your mom, talk to your dad, talk to your sister, your brother, your friends, whoever. Talk to your pets,
right.
whatever however
Yeah,
but just consciously make that time. And if it requires putting it down on your calendar, do that. Anything that works,
right.
any way you can make it work.
You know, Patty talked about the physical and mental well-being. You talked about something very important. Make an effort to be in touch, right? That also is so essential because we make excuses, but we don't put that effort. PJ, coming to you before we wrap this amazingly, beautifully intimate session that I had today with the three pillars of my life, with the foundations of my life, those who are my actual, I would say, like they're my family, who define the truth of family. Because to me, family is not just related by blood. My parents and my daughter are again, they are inevitably my foundation, and you guys are my pillar. So, Pijit, what are your survival trips? Like, what do you suggest people do who are in India, who are going through economic meltdown, who may have lost their jobs, who may be going through family crisis? How can they survive? How can they battle this crisis and emerge victorious? Okay, you're on mute. Hold on.
Yeah.
You were on mute, Piju. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. It's okay now? Can you hear me?
Okay, yes, absolutely.
Okay. So apart from physical and mental health,
Mm-hmm.
I believe that economic health is paramount.
Mm-hmm.
And if economic health improves,
Mm-hmm.
it will have an implication on the physical and mental health as well.
Okay.
Now, today, India's COVID number is close to 5 lakhs, right? And we have a population of 1.32 crores.
Mm-hmm.
So it translates to about 0.03 percentage of the total population.
Mm-hmm.
So only 0.03 of the total population is infected with COVID till now.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you assume that this data is not the right data and you
Mm-hmm.
double it, it comes to 0.06 percentage.
Mm-hmm.
So I really don't think there is something very big to worry.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, my second point is, for the first time, all the scientists, bioscientists in the world are researching on only one thing, all
Mm-hmm.
focused, which is finding out an antivirus for the same.
Right.
So we have to safely assume that in 3 months to 6 months from now,
Mm-hmm.
some solution will come out because the entire world is focused on finding a solution for this crisis.
Mm-hmm.
Third is,
Mm-hmm.
so how do we go out and participate in the economic activity?
Mm-hmm.
We should only go out to do important things in life,
Mm-hmm.
which make the economy going. We should not be going out and do party. We should not be going out in the park and do gathering, but we should be going out
Mm-hmm.
and participate in the economic activities that will help a lot of other people with jobs, and that will indirectly and directly improve the physical and the mental health of people.
Correct.
What we need to do is we have to be very, very safe and protective at the same time. While we are going out, we have to wear the gloves or wear the mask. And if you do this minimum thing, I really don't think it is going to affect anybody.
Right.
So the whole idea is that we have to participate in the activity.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, how do we? So today, tomorrow, it may happen to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
How do we delay it? That
Mm-hmm.
should be the objective.
Right.
If it happens 6 months from now, the possibility of having an antivirus is more.
Right.
So the whole idea is that we all have to make an effort, my mental effort, to go out and participate in the economic activity, because it is only 0.03% of the population who are infected today,
Mm-hmm.
and it will not go beyond 2-3% in worst case scenario also.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't go and participate, lot many people will die out of hunger, out of mental depression. So my humble submission is, use protection, use a mask, and go out and participate. But don't do anything adventurous, like going for a party or something like that.
Right. Right. Absolutely. I think that's amazing. So, three absolutely erudite, articulate, smart, accomplished, friends on this show today. All the three of you had some great insights and inputs to share. Joining from different parts of the world. Like Paddy, well, you're in Bangalore. Mona from Doha. Pijit all the way from Kolkata. One of the things that we take away is that how important it is to stay positive, how important it is to focus on a balanced well-being, your physical, your mental health, how important is self-care, and how important it is to participate in economic activities without compromising on safety. uh, Paddy, Mona, Pijit, I can't thank you guys enough for being on COVID Warriors. I didn't even realize where the 1 hour went. Like it just flew. And yes, please unmute yourself. And I want to give my little invocation to you guys as for our friendship, for everything that you guys have done for me, everything that you guys do for the society, because you all have been contributing in your own way for the well-being of others. And most importantly, I'm going to say this: you guys teach a lot of us how it is important to stay prudent without compromising on your passion. I salute you guys as my COVID warriors. I know you all have been battling your challenges, but this was such a positive show. And I'm gonna end by saying this. ये दोस्ती हम नहीं तोड़ेंगे तोड़ेंगे मगर तेरा साथ ना छोड़ेंगे. Thank you so much. Thank you to all the viewers for watching. Till the next COVID warriors, stay safe, stay protected, and remember, you have to motivate yourself, you have to take care of yourself, and you are your first priority before you focus on anybody else. Thank you, everyone. Until the next time, adios. Hasta la vista and namaste. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone, for watching.